sure a few folks may want to see this as you all decide or make decisions to move forward. All right. And you know what? I'm going to stand with this. Let the energy flow from the standing. All right. So, are you all both native to Houston or?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I am not, so please don't use that against me. Um, I before we came down to Houston, we lived in Dallas, but I am a Nebraskan. Have lived there majority of my younger years, but Texas has pretty much been home the last almost 30 years. I'm 36 this year, so we came here when I was 6, so yeah, about 30 years. Love Houston. Oh yeah, I'm a Cornhusker. Now I did go to UT. Okay, so I'm a Longhorn
Ah,
first, and then I'm a Cornhusker. My family doesn't like hearing that, but it's the truth. Got all of the perks of being a Longhorn, so I wanna keep that going. So let's hop in here into the demo, and then if you all have any questions whatsoever, feel free to interrupt me. This is not my show. This is your show. I'm just a supporting cast. Okay.
okay.
All right. Let's get going. So what you guys are seeing on the screen right now, this is our dashboard overview. This is showing you all how well the company is performing the moment you log in. So when you start thinking about the types of service calls that you all are pushing out of the system, you're going to be able to see that. If you all do any maintenance scheduling for any of your customers, you're going to be able to see any of your pending maintenance schedule. You can also see any estimates. You know, whether you all are sending out quotes to some of your clients, you're going to be able to see the breakdown of that within the system. All of this is customizable. So however you all want to use this dashboard, you're going to be able to use it to your benefit. Whether you create multiple pages of your dashboard or you add additional widgets that we provide to you all within the system. Now, one thing I love, especially as you all are working with commercial food equipment, not sure if they ever get to this age, but you all will be able to run a report on the years old of that piece of equipment. And that helps you all understand which ones need to be serviced, as well as which ones need to be serviced the most often because they are a little bit on the older side. So all of that, once again, comes included with your dashboard. And as we make our way up to the top here, this is going to be what I call your essentials toolbar. So we're looking at the dashboard. The admin side is where we're going to set up your account. We do provide you all with implementation. So you'll get an implementation manager, as we like to call them, for the first 60 days. Now, you don't have to worry about doing this yourself, right? We're here to hold your hand, get your data imported, get you and your team trained up, and most importantly, making sure that you guys adopt the efficiencies of what this platform will allow you all to do in your day-to-day operations. We will take a look at our dispatch board here in just a second. We do provide you all with a service module. That service module will allow you all to not only create service, but you'll see here we can create some quotes, as well as be able to invoice, run payroll reporting, create purchase orders, look at some of our larger projects, and then most importantly, ensure that we're running all of our service calls in a timely manner. We also provide you all with the ability to receive payment or to update your receivables. Now, we do provide a payments platform called SAWin Pay. And SAWin Pay is primarily for you all to be able to streamline your payments process to ensure that you can get paid in a timely manner, as well as giving your customers multiple options to receive payment. One thing I really like, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, Roy, of being able to pay online or at least customers to book online, is we do provide you all with a customer portal, which I'll go ahead and open up now. Let's look at that real quick in just a second. And then we'll go into all of the details of that customer portal and how that works. We also provide you all with the ability to manage your parts in your inventory, as well as if you all are doing purchase orders, you're able to update your vendor master to ensure that you all are getting parts from the vendors in which you all work with so that you keep track of that. We do a sales and marketing module. Now, this is something that you all can use to your benefit, primarily around the sales team creating a proposal and getting information out to the customer via email or text message, and then creating tasks for that sales team or that marketing team to ensure it gets out to your prospective clients as well as to your customer base to increase the ability to get some additional sales. And then reports, last but not least, is your reports here, giving you ability to run various reports as you all see fit. Any questions before I dig into some of the needs that you have?
Uh, for the reports, can you create any custom reports? Meaning, like, can I create my own report to do so and so things? Or is it, or do you guys have like a set of reports that you guys already have built in your system?
Yeah, so it's pretty much all static reports, but you can customize them with the data that you're looking for. So, for instance, if you go to Service Dispatch, you see here I have service accounting. I can look at all of our cash collections, all of our invoice billing, our revenue calls by invoice or by technician, and you'll see here that we have additional fields that you can report on. Okay. So it is customizable to a certain extent, but we do provide you all with these static reports to ensure that you all can run the reports on the most commonly ran reports that we've built over the last 30 years. So a little bit about SAWin. We started back in 1984, primarily in the HVAC space, but we've worked in various industries. And these are some of the most common reports that have come up. Now, if there's any report that you all will need, just let us know. We're definitely open to building that report with you all as we believe it will help that of our existing customer base. But once again, various reports in here, open calls, as you all need to report on them. Once again, you can change some of the headings here, and then one thing you'll see once we run the report is you'll get the option of exporting to an Excel sheet, to a PDF, you name it. So right here, as you'll see, let me let it load. There you go. You'll see here that we can run a PDF, CSV, Excel file, PowerPoint presentation, you name it, Word document, you name it. It's really up to you all. And we can also email it out wherever necessary.
Now, what kind of database? Is it a SQL database or you
Yeah,
know
so
the
so yes, it's a mix of the SQL database and us using the AWS. Oh, sorry, not AWS. Sorry, Microsoft Azure servers. And so all of this is built on the back end of the Azure servers.
Okay. Okay.
well, sounds good.
Good. All right.
Uh,
Let's hop into this customer portal real quick. It seemed like that was something that you really want to see. So let's look at it. Now I'm going to log into a customer of mine so you can see what's going to happen over there. While that's logging in, I want to actually bring you back over here so you can see exactly what you see and versus what the customer sees. So give me one second. All right. So what I'm on is I'm on the customer location. Now, customer location can be considered the account or the service master, right? So this is where we're actually going and doing the service. Okay. Now, keep in mind, we do have an AR account that's tied to that of the account or the service master or location. So we know where the billing is handled on the right side. On the left side, we know what area or what location we're going to service. Now, Roy, do you all have customers that have various locations?
Yes.
lots of locations. Yep.
Awesome. So you'll see here that this is a one-on-one location, but if I go over here to, let's see here, Mississippi College for Women, and I go to, let's say, one of the halls, you'll see here that I have 12 items, right? And this is really 12 locations. So I can go back and forth between those locations. I can see the work orders that we've done. I can filter it based off the date in which we were out there. All once again on the same page. So we don't have to change over the page or go anywhere else. Everything is here and available to you all. Okay. So just wanted to show you that. As I know it's important for you all to be able to see the information that you need to see. Now, let me make our way back over here to Lifetime Gym. This is where I go to gym, my gym at Lifetime here in the Katy area. And so I figured I'd make an account for it because I'm always there. Um, but what we see here is as we scroll down, we see our work orders. Okay. We can also
Well,
see any contract. Go ahead.
what is the Google verified and customer verified buttons?
So
Are
essentially,
the
essentially what those are when we create the customer, we will either verify that the address is correct on Google, as well as the customer verify the address. So essentially, it's just either a phone call, hey, just want to confirm, is this the correct address? Yes. Then we want to verify that by the customer. If we searched it in Google and it pulls up the same way, when I first moved into this community about 4 years ago, the address would not pull up in Google. I don't know why. Obviously, it just took some time, right? And so I couldn't verify it from Google, but I verified it from the customer. And we were obviously still able to get folks out here to service our home, but it wasn't verified on Google. So that's the reason why we give both the customer verified and the Google verification.
Makes sense.
All right. Now, as we come down here, we'll see that we have all of our work orders. We can sort them based off of the date range. We can sort them in various forms that I can go into that a little bit into detail if necessary. We'll see here that we have our contracts. So if you all do any, once again, maintenance scheduling, maintenance contracts, or anything of that nature, you can build those contracts in here, as well as the contract billing that goes towards that contract, right? So you can do that. You can also see which equipment you all have serviced in here. So one of the examples, and I'll come back over here to lifetime, that I think would be good for you all to see is with our broken spoke client here. Now, what you'll see here is that we have various pieces of equipment. You'll see here the red ones are ones that are not covered by any contracts or agreement plans that we have. The green are the ones that are covered. And so we can always make adjustments to this however we see fit. We can add the model number, the description, the serial, the location, whether it's in the kitchen to the right, the kitchen to the left, or whether it's in the freezer. You all will be able to, once again, update that based off of location, the unit, part, the whole nine, right? And we can come here and we can actually make some adjustments to that. We can include some pictures if necessary. We can even state whether or not it was our installation so that we can keep track of when it was installed. So we have the history and the time.
How hard would it be? I guess this isn't out in the field, so maybe I'm asking at the wrong time, but for a tech to add a picture to the
Oh, not hard at all.
equipment.
Oh, not hard at all. No. Once they click on the equipment, they'll have the ability to look at the pictures and then add an additional picture. So not hard at all. And I'll show you that once we get to that portion. I know I'm going a little bit into the weeds here, but I just wanted to show you some of the variations on the side that you all see. If we come back over here to the what the customer may see, let me actually change the theme real quick. I think this is a little too bright for me. Let's go. I'm gonna change it over to the dark theme real quick. So it's a little bit more pleasing on my eyes. All right. So what we're seeing here is the customer lifetime. Okay. We see 9 pending invoices. If I click on that, it's going to pull up all my invoices down below. Okay. They can view, download, or they can click here and they can actually pay that invoice. Okay. And that's just on the invoice side of things. If I want to look at any of the service that we have for that customer, you'll see here that we have the ability to book a call, but I'm just going to go back to the home here. And let's go to our pending schedule. If we have any calls on the schedule, we would see that here. Okay. Any of our contracts, we can see all of our contracts that will be listed here. Any quotes that we have, we'll be able to see those quotes as well. And then we do something that's called recommendations, and that's primarily just around anything that we recommend to the customer prior to us leaving if they decide not to move forward with us. Now, a lot of other things that we can do is we can come here to equipment. Okay. Come on, load up. There we go. And we'll be able to see that piece of equipment. There we go. So we can see the age of it. We can see the manufacturer, model, serial number. Once again, we see all of that here. We can also see, we looked at invoices. We can look at our quotes. If we have any quotes that are available, we can see any of our contracts. So whether or not those contracts are active. We can update our contacts. Okay. But the one thing that you asked us about was being able to book a call. So one of the things that you'll see once it populates here is depending on how many options that you all want to provide, you will see those options here. So I'll wait for it to populate here. Come on. There we are. Okay. Now you'll see here, because we work in various verticals, you'll see this here, but you may have something very similar to this, right? Where it's, restaurant, commercial food equipment, you all will be able to choose that label. Once you click on that and you hit next, the customer will then describe the problem. So you all will be able to reference a problem, whether it's, once again, restaurant refrigeration, cooking equipment, your contact name, phone number, whether or not they want to be notified when it does get dispatched out. Then we could provide details on what needs to be repaired. Okay. All right. Once we do that and hit next, they can actually choose a time. Now, it is a preferred time, not an automatic time. Okay. The reason why we do that is we don't want you all to overbook. Now, one thing that you'll notice here is that we do provide them with the ability to see if there's availability based off of your schedule. Okay. So right now, we really don't want to schedule any time. It's showing us that our capacity is full, but we can schedule at any other time. And the reason why it's anytime is red is because we already have quite a few that are already scheduled at any time. And so what we don't want is to continue to do that and overload our schedule to where the dispatchers haven't really moved the jobs into the areas that make sure that it's scheduled and that we have coverage across the team. So let's say, for instance, they choose this 8 to 10. They will then hit next. They're going to review it. There's a disclaimer here, all subject to trip charge and diagnostic fee. You all will be in control of that as well. And then they just hit book a call. When they book that call, it will list out for them that they have a new booked call, but it's also going to thank them. Someone will contact you shortly to schedule your call. So you can either, contact them via email, text message, obviously picking up the phone and giving them a call and saying, "Hey, looks like you booked a call with us. We want to make sure that we have the necessary parts and material. So describe to us a little bit more in detail, right? Or you all just may send someone out there, right, to give them a necessary quote. You all can do that as well. But this is going to be our booking engine as well as the customer portal, giving them the ability to book on from you all's website, as well as being able to from their account be able to book as well. Now, some of the other questions that I get from a few folks, and I want to show you all this, is what if what if they don't have an account with us? You'll see here that there's a service call request. You see that?
Yep.
All right. So they would just hit the service call request. They would plug in their phone number. I'm just going to do all nines. Okay. Well, I didn't think I had all nines in here. Let me try to do 9 and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. If you don't have an account in here, the number is not going to populate. If it does, the good thing is it allows them to select their name from that account, and then they can still book a call. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they don't necessarily have to log into their account to book a service call with you all. But if they are in the account, you don't want a whole bunch of these duplicates, right? You don't want, kitchen 12, and you have 13 kitchen 12s, right? You want to make sure that the same number that they use, office number, is populating there. They're just going to come in, plug in their company name, and then plug in their description, and go ahead and get this serviced out to you all. Once again, confirmation via email, as well as in your unassigned, ready to be assigned to a technician, so you all can get it scheduled out.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, you did say that you want to look at the service text view. So I'm going to push you all from the web version right now, and then we're going to go over to the mobile app. So let me go ahead and open this up real quick.
How long have you been doing this?
As far as with SAWin?
Yep.
So I've been with SAWin since February.
Okay, so a little bit.
Yeah, so I would say a little bit, but prior to that, I worked at another company for 5 years. So I've been doing this, I would say going on my 6th year, and I love it. I wanted to get in tech when I would say I wanted to get into tech from working at the tobacco company. I used to work for Marlboro. I'm not proud of it. They took care of me and my family for a number of years, and wanted to get in tech, and this actually fell in my lap. Getting into tech. I was working at. I don't know if you all ever been to the tower in Dallas, the big ball, or have you seen it? You've probably seen it.
Yeah.
I used to work there, and the lady that recruited me was like, "Oh man, you're really great at talking to people. You would love this job." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Came and did an interview, and the rest was history. So I've been that company. I was there for three and a half years. They sold for over 100-something million dollars. And then the culture just changed, right? Because once you're sold, these big companies, they do a lot of real random stuff, and I wasn't too happy about it. So I was looking for a job, and it just kind of took a year and a half to 2 years to find SAWin. I was already in Houston, so it just kind of, I would say, kind of fell in my lap too. It was not something I was necessarily looking for, but I'm glad I found it. It's a great company. Let me move this over. got to move some jobs over real quick. Well, since I'm on the dispatch board, I can show you all this because I think it helps you all kind of piece a few of these things together. And then I'm going to get to the mobile, I promise. So right now we're looking at the dispatch board. Can you all see my screen still?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So this right here is our dispatch board. And you're probably asking yourself, where are the jobs at? They're here. They're just, I haven't rescheduled them. So I'm just going to go over here to this little hamburger sign. My cursor's right over here to the right. And then I'm going to reschedule calls. Okay. What this is showing me is that I have two calls that are scheduled for today, but I actually want to go back and show you all. So let's actually pull from the beginning of last week that we have all of these calls were scheduled last week and we hadn't gotten to them. Now I don't anticipate you all ever having to do this, but for any reason, let's say for instance an emergency comes up, or you guys have to close shop, or I'm gonna knock on wood, but hurricane season's coming, and for some reason we got to move some things just because it's not safe to schedule any calls with our team. So we can come here and we can reschedule all of those calls over to the next day, or you can do it in waves, right? We can schedule calls for this Monday to pop up on Tuesday, right? And we can continue to move it out however we need to. So this is the process of rescheduling the call. And once again, part of the reason why I'm doing that is so I can show you on the mobile app, because if I didn't, I would have had to go back and search which day I actually have calls to schedule, which don't really work in my favor, especially when I'm trying to do a demo. So we'll let that load up and get all of those calls scheduled over. And then let's go ahead and move you all over to the mobile device. So let's see, let's remember how to do this. Let's go back over to Teams. Let's join you. All right, testing audio. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, perfect. So let's share screen. All right. I always like to give a disclaimer, gentlemen. I am on my personal device, so if anything does pop up, let's say, for instance, my wife gets on to me for not taking out the trash, just know I did not play that. All right. Still working on getting those calls over. Come on. While I wait for that to load up, while I do that, I'm just going to show you a few options here. So this is where all of the technicians' calls are going to show up based off the date in which they log into the platform. At the very top, you'll see there's an on-duty button. That's kind of like your clock in, clock out at the end of the day. And then if we go down to the very bottom, we can see here that we have an inventory option. This shows us what inventory we have on hand, whether it's in a physical location or truck. At the top right there, you'll see that this is my truck, but if I want to go to the main warehouse, I can go to all warehouses, and this will pull up everything that we have in all of our warehouses. We also have our time card here. This right here is going to show us not only when we marked ourselves on duty, but also when we clock into each job, giving us the breakdown of work hours at the bottom right there. I'm kind of covering that there. Work hours, as well as any break hours that we've taken, so that we can make sure that we are reporting the payroll effectively. And then on the menu option, which is the far right at the bottom, this is going to give us the ability to search for a customer. So the search SM, search service master, that's the language in which we use. That's going to show up here. Then we have the new service master, that's the new customer. So when we create a new customer. And then all the rest here are a few additional options for owner, service manager, operations manager, you name it. Not all of these are going to be shown to every last one of the technicians. It's all based off of those permissions. Okay. Now it looks like our calls are now populated on the dispatch board. So this is what it's going to look like. Before I move on, anything stand out to you? Any questions about the way in which the schedule looks?
So this calls are calls that are being assigned to a particular tech, or are we looking at calls that need to be assigned to someone?
So these are all calls that are assigned to me as the technician.
Okay.
Yep. If I want to look at all the calls that are scheduled, I'm just going to go back to that bottom right menu option. Okay. Then I'm going to go over to the Tech Workday or My Team, either one, and I can look at the Tech Workday. Let's actually go. Let's look at My Team. So I can look at My Team here. I can look at any calls that they have. So let's say, for instance, who has calls? David has some calls on his. So I just hit calls there, and it shows me his schedule. Okay. And then for Claudia, if she has any calls, I'll see her calls here as well. Okay.
And if we didn't want the text to see what other techs have on their queues, can we block that?
Yep, it's all permissions. That's what I was saying. Like there are a few options on here. The main ones that they're going to be able to see if you provide them with the permissions are essentially search service master, new service master. But you can actually remove all of this outside of offline capabilities, transfer, tech workday, training, and my quotes. Everything else can be removed as far as a permission.
Got it.
Alrighty. So just to kind of go through workflow real quick, just so I can simplify this for you all. First thing we need to do is mark ourselves on duty, kind of clocking in, okay? So we're going to hit on duty, top right. Okay. It's going to
Okay.
automatically default it for the time right now. Okay. And then now I'm ready to go ahead and get some work done. If let's say, for instance, this first job, Mississippi College for Women, if that's my first job, I'm just going to go ahead and tap on that job. Before I do, I can see if there's a purchase order that's available. I can see if there's parts that I need to collect. But on this one, there are not. But if I could look on my second job, I see that there's one purchase order available. And as I scroll down, you'll see here that I do have some jobs that require some parts. So before I move and go anywhere to any of my locations, I may want to go to a parts warehouse, to a vendor, pick up all these parts before I move to any of these jobs. Okay, is that something that you all do, or how do you ensure that they have all the parts necessary to go out and do the work?
Oh, they come in here and pick them up.
Gotcha. So that was my assumption. Just wanted to make sure I checked that with you all. So as they would see these parts here, they would go and pick the parts up from the HQ, and then they would go out and dispatch themselves out to these locations. First thing they're going to do is they're going to click on that first job. As they tap on it, they have some basic details. But really, the first thing that we want to do is we want to go right here to where it says call time, hit the pencil there, and go ahead and hit dispatch. When we do that, a number of things happen for us. If we go back, we can go ahead and hit the address. This opens up whichever Maps app that they choose initially. I chose Google Maps. It'll go ahead and provide us with the directions based off of our starting point. Okay. And then it'll automatically calculate that for us and get us to that location. Now, I'm not going to be driving 9, almost 10 hours to this location, but you get the idea. So we go out to that location. We then make ourselves arrive at the location. And then from here, we're ready to go ahead and get our work completed. So we'll come back. We'll look at the description, check outlets and science lab, keep throwing breaker. So we go check it, make sure everything is working properly. Whatever's not working properly, we'll go ahead and fix it. And then from here, we have the ability to, in our work description, which is right under Service Master Notes, we can tap on work description and go ahead and plug in our work description. Now we can type here, or to standardize some things for your team, because a lot of them just don't want to type it, they can either use the microphone icon at the very bottom right. Reason why mine's not working is because I'm on a meeting with you all. But if I was not, I would have the ability to do speech to text. Okay.
Okay.
If not speech to text, we can hit the standard description, and you all can plug in as many standard descriptions as you all want based off of the items in which you all fix and repair. And you can just come in once again in here and select the one that you all want to include, hit done, and now you have your work description there ready to be sent out to the customer on what it is that you all did while you were there. All right. Now, from here, what we can do is we can also add a number of things. We often know that you all are going to be working on pieces of equipment, and that's one of the things you asked me. So if I come right here to equipment and we want to work on a piece of equipment, we can include the equipment information here, But you also asked me, how do they add images or pictures, right?
Right.
Tap on images. Okay, let me save the equipment real quick first. Hold on. So let's just do a Bosch. Let's do model number, random, serial. All right. So we save that equipment. Let me go back. And then right from here, we can hit images. And then all they need to do is hit this plus icon. They can take a picture of that piece of equipment, or they can select from the gallery, which is essentially going into their photo gallery on their phone or their tablet. Now, we work with both Android and iOS. So what types of phones or tablets does your team use?
We have a mixture of both.
Mixture of both? Okay,
Android.
perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we work with both. Everything that you see here that I'm showing you is going to be in both platforms. So you should be good to go. Okay. Let's say I want to go ahead and take a picture. And I'm going to allow, I'm just going to take a picture of my little mouse here. Okay. There we go. And I can go ahead and use that picture. See that? It's uploaded in the background for me. I can hit I can click on the picture to once again see it again. All right. And then I can add more pictures wherever necessary. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Now, one of the other things that you all may want to do is include some documents. And documents can be anything in the form of PDFs or user manuals or anything of that nature for them. But yeah, all of this is available to you all from the mobile app so that you all can ensure that everything that's done on this piece of equipment stays there with the history. And then the equipment age will show if I were to click on this and then go into our install and give the install date. Let's say I want to do, oops, sorry, didn't mean to close it out. Let's say I want to do the 1st of June. Okay. Now, if I hit save, we now see that it's 23 days old. You see that?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's going to do that calculation for you. And the reason why there's a box there is that's just basically showing us that whenever we're working on this job or on this ticket, right, it's going to include that piece of equipment so that we know, and I'll show you that it's going to be highlighted. Okay, you see there, equipment one. So
Yes, sir.
every time we come back and reference this work order, right, it will automatically plug in that piece of equipment so that it keeps track of how many times we were out there to service that equipment. Okay.
Will this equipment stay under the account or the
It sure
service
will.
master?
Yes, sir, it will.
Okay. So if
Yeah,
we book another service call, then of course you're gonna be able to see all the equipment under that service master, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Then we get a few other options down here: work signature, uploading documents, call parts, things of that nature. And then you'll see here, just kind of to your point, right? I just added that piece of equipment. It's not just on the work order; it's also on the service master. That's the reason why we see equipment one down there below. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If we are ready to go ahead and complete this, we're just going to come right here to call time. Hit that pencil icon one more time. Now you're going to see two things happen. One, I'm going to try to complete it, and it won't allow me to complete it. Come on, guy. Ah, the guy at Kroger was trying to sell me AT&T services. I shouldn't have gave him a number because he's been calling me all day. All right. All right. So from here, we have to have an outcome code in order for us to move forward with completion. So an outcome code is going to be determined by you all. Okay. So you all can do it where it's incomplete, needs approval, they're not home, it needs parts are ordered. Once again, anything else in there you want to include, you can customize this to your benefit. I'm going to go ahead and mark it as complete and complete it. What's that? Days are still pending. Outcome code can't be complete. Okay. I think I have another technician on this one. That's why. Yep. So we have another tech on this one, so I can't complete it in its entirety because the other tech has to mark it as completed as well in order for us to move forward with complete. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one as needs approval. Yeah. And then essentially where it's going to show up in your list within the larger system is under needs approval for you all to be able to go into the job, add whatever parts and materials, labor necessary, so that you can ensure that you're charging the customer for the work in which you all have done. We do have the ability to see the invoice and update the invoice from here. So if you go into the middle of the screen, you see invoice and it says number 10733. You'll see that?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And then from here, I can add additional charges. I can update the price sheet for markup reasons. I can even choose the payment type because we can go ahead and retrieve payment right then and there on the job site. And so you don't have to worry about sending an invoice out to your customer. You can actually go ahead and invoice them right there and then email them a receipt right there from the field. Okay. Now, if I want to add, let's say, for instance, additional labor or additional charges, I can hit the plus icon. These are our options here. Ultimately, in most cases, you're going to use add items. And then you're going to choose from the drop-down list here, whether it's inventory, non-inventory, labor. If you guys use any subcontractors, you'll be able to do that. Miscellaneous, and then a trip charge. If I want to go ahead and add some labor here, you'll see here I have the type under regular, but I can also do overtime. Okay. Then I have my description, the amount of hours, whether or not it's taxable, and then I go ahead and hit save. And now we just added those 8 hours on there, ready to charge this customer. Okay. Now, if we're going to go ahead and charge the customer, we can do it in a number of ways. We can choose our payment type and then run a credit card. Where's my machine at? So I'll show this to you once I open my camera back up. But we have the tap, swipe, chip, dip, all the above for the devices. If not, you all can key it in as far as payment. If not, if you all just want to email this over to the customer, you can email it right from here where send them an invoice copy over to the customer. And you would just have to plug in their email address. Ooh. All right, then hit send. All right, and they now have a copy. The system will tell you that the email has been sent. There you go, green little banner up there. If we want to text message this out, so the top, it's really the top two at the top. The mail icon is the email. The one to the right is the text message. So from here, we can go ahead and send this out to the customer as well via text message. Okay. All right, and then from here, whether or not you allow the technician to, once again, to go ahead and take payment or not. If not, they would just go ahead and hit tech calls at the bottom left because they've already completed this job. And now they're ready to go ahead and get some additional work completed. And they would just go through their list here, make sure they have the necessary parts once again, go in, complete the work based off of the description and what is stated. So commercial plant maintenance, add more details, check the heat. We can see what pieces of equipment we have here. We can see what call parts we were needing. If we need to capture a signature from the front desk whenever we first come in or before we leave the job site, we'll give the ability to add the signature. And the list goes on. So fairly simple. You all don't have to use everything that's in here, but definitely highly recommend allowing your technicians to be empowered when they go out to the field, as well as being able to take payment so that you all can get paid in a timely manner. And so you all can see those funds for the work instead of, having to do the net 30, net 60, net 90, whenever necessary.
Yep.
Any questions?
Very impressive. Do y'all offer that in like a laptop version as well, or is it just on the phone version?
So this version that we're looking at right now is the mobile and tablet version. As far as on the laptop, I do believe we do have a mobile version of what we can open up into the web browser. But primarily what they're going to be seeing on the web is what I was showing you all a little bit earlier. And let's hop back over there.
Okay.
I'll just take it from here. Join the call.
And I think you answered this already, but you could attach documents to the call so the tech would have those documents on the call.
Yes, you sure can. You can add documents, whether it be pictures of those documents or whether or not you want to upload a PDF. Let's say, for instance, you all have a file that you can pull from on that device. You can upload that from the file storage on the device as well.
Now, how would you add that to the call? Like say you get a manufacturer calls in a warranty and they send a startup sheet. How do we add that to the call?
Well, when you say startup sheet, what exactly is a startup sheet?
Well, there's two. A lot of them were just pieces of paper that would say, check the gas pressure, make sure the temperature's right. But now they're getting to where it'll be like referencing a web page address for us to go to out in the field and type in.
Okay. Yeah, so you can, I guess, however you want to do it. Once again, if you want to include the document, you can. If you want to do the web address, same difference, right? They're going to have the ability to be able to do that. And then for you all, let's go over to, let me open back up my screen.
When the call booker books a call, of course, they have a section where they report the problem reported, right, by the customer.
Yeah.
And in that section, we could type in the the link, right, for the
Absolutely.
text.
Yep.
And then we will have the option to upload documents through. Will we have an option to upload files through that same page where the call booker is booking the call? Meaning, like,
Yes.
let's say the manufacturer sends an email with 10 attachments, and those 10 attachments are a mixture of Excel documents and PDF documents. The dispatcher will have to download it to their computer and then upload it to your portal.
Yes, that's correct. Not unless, well, yeah, they would have to download it to the computer.
Yeah, and then to the portal.
Because they would have to pull it from, they would have to pull it from a source, and it would have to come from the computer. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So let's go here. All right. So right from here, if you all want to plug in a link, and let's see, let me grab a link. I'm just gonna. I could just do Google. Let's do. I'm just gonna plug this link in here. All right, and then so we got a link there, and then as we make our way down here, you'll see where it says documents.
Mm-hmm.
See that? Yep. So we just upload those documents, whether it's multiple documents, as you mentioned, or the single document.
Okay. And then that's gonna show up on that work order whenever they get paged to the tech, right?
Yes, sir.
And they
So
pull it
I can.
those-
Yeah, I can show it to you, or you can. That's up to you. I know we kind of we're a little bit over on time. How you guys looking on time?
We're good. I think
Okay.
you said you might have another meeting, so we don't want to mess you
Oh,
up.
no. I already so as there was some confusion on the times in which we needed, I had already told Ms. Cobb that I had already moved that time to another day. Essentially worked with them last week. There was a second demo, and the partner couldn't make the meeting anyway, and so we were gonna have to do a third demo. I just said let's just wait until the partner gets there. So we're fine on time.
Okay.
As long as my kids don't burn up the house, I think we're good. Normally my littles would go. One would go to camp, the other one would go over to the grandmother's, but grandmother is traveling for the next 2 weeks. So as long as I don't smell any smoke or anything like that, we should be good on time.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, we would go here, upload multiple, and then I would select a file. You'll see here are my options. I can control. I have those two. Go ahead and hit save. taking your time.
That's pretty efficient, though.
Yeah, and we just added the multiple. Let's go down here. Let's see. Let's add that one. And this one. All right, there we go. And however you all need to access it, once again, they can access it from their mobile device. You all can access it from here. It's solely up to you all, but once it's uploaded, you'll be able to see whether or not you want to show it to the customer or not, or show it to the technician. As long as this says yes, they'll be able to see it out there in the field. And as long as this says yes, they'll be able to see it from this portal that we were on a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Now, let's say we get an email, again with 2, 3 attachments.
Mhm.
Is there a way to encapsulate that email and send it as an attachment? Because I know you can download, like if let's say I email you, like you email me, I can save your email and it converts it into I think it's OTF, whatever it is, and then I can
Mhm.
click on it if I have Outlook and open it, and I can see everything that you send me and attachments, everything. Uh, I was wondering if we can do that with your system here, where we save that and upload it, and then when the tech opens it, they see the actual email itself with all the attachments. That way, our call bookers don't have to be downloading like 10 attachments. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's important for the tech to also see some of the information that the manufacturer might have sent us. So, I mean, we currently right now we have a system where we do encapsulate that email and it
Yeah.
takes in everything that comes through that email. But it'll be better to have it the way you guys have it because it's all into one single system. Right now, we have it like we will book a call. Dispatcher will page the call, and when they page the call, the tech gets a text message on their phone, with information about the call. But then it also emails an attachment with the call to the tech and any attachments that pertain to that call. That's including anything that is um, like if we were to encapsulate that email, like I was telling you, with all those attachments, it will go to that email. But there's the problem though, because now you have 2 different pieces where they have to be looking at their phone, have to be looking at their email, and then the field service. So the system you have here, it'll be nice to be able to do it all in that one single system. That way they don't have to be looking around to 2, 3, 4 different places to find all that information.
Yeah, I agree. I'm double checking right now. Let me see. Because I know. Let's see here. Yeah, let me check into that one for you because I was looking in the Service Master. We do have the ability to reference the communication that's been sent out of the system. But I definitely want to double check that before I tell you yes or no. Um,
Check something on the extension.
yeah, I'll double check on it. Let me write that down.
Uh, do you have your file here? Like file save as.
All right. What other questions do y'all have?
Um,
So you got a million questions, really. But I like the way the technician app works. Now, once they submit the invoice, is it verified separately, or is that the final version of it? How does that work?
Yeah, so that's not the final version of it. Once they submit the invoice, as you'll see right here, work order number 10905, invoice number 10905. We like to keep the numbers the same. If you all want to change that, you definitely can. But if for any reason you all need to change anything on the invoice, you can. You're just going to come to the invoice entry here, hit these, hit the hamburger icon, and then you would do the view info, and that will allow you all to add any additionals wherever necessary. So if you all want to, let's go to billing details. If you all want to add additional trip charges, add any additional pricing items, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, labor, inventory, miscellaneous charges, things of that nature. Even if you want to add a solution code, which we have the ability, a solution code is synonymous with flat rates. So if you all want to do a flat rate, you can add that here, solution code. You can also see your call parts here. And so if you want to add those two here to make sure that we are adding that to the invoice, once again, you can do that. So it's not the final invoice. Can it be the final invoice? Yes, but that's all based off of you all's workflow and your process.
Okay. Now, can you add more categories to that category where you have labor? Can you add customizable categories? Like, let's say we want to do, like, let's say in the future we want to add something else. Can we do that?
I believe there is a way in which you can do that. I'm not entirely sure. That's more for our engineers. But I can check into that for you. I think this essentially wraps up any parts or materials that you all have under inventory or non-inventory, and then labor, obviously under labor hours and charges there. Miscellaneous would pretty much wrap up everything else. But if you give me some examples on some of the other ideas that you all have to put in here, I can go to them and ask.
Okay.
Yeah, we are always open to suggestions. One of the things that we find about our customers, because we work in various verticals, is that we're not sold or set on one specific way to do things within the platform. We want to know what are ways that are going to help you all be efficient, and we take that into consideration. So, as I mentioned, there are a number of things that have come to fruition since I've been here since February, and my previous company, it took us about 2 years to get new features, and I've seen things happen in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes, a little bit less than a month. So it just kind of depends, based off of the recommendation, how it affects that of our current customer base as well as potential customers. Yeah, I believe it's something that we can help you guys do.
We have a couple of techs in Austin that we ship parts to.
Yeah.
And like a tech up by, I think we ship them up to Spring. He does a lot of the College Station area and things. And so if they receive parts in, is there any way for them to receive parts in for a job? Like say we
Sure.
shipped a guy in Austin a gas valve, and when he goes to pick it up at the UPS store, can he receive that in?
Yes, there is a way to receive parts. Give me 1 second. Um,
I know it's a strange question. I just
it's
should.
it's not as strange as you think. I think let me just see if I can find. So let's see here. Yes, here it is. So I'm just going to go back so you can know exactly where I'm going. So I went right here to miscellaneous, part maintenance, part management, part maintenance. Okay. And essentially what I did, let's say for instance, and I only have this example, I don't necessarily have your example, but let's say for instance, I went to go pick up a filter, okay, that you all shipped. What I can do is I can click on that, and then what I can do is I can add that part to a truck or a warehouse. And what this allows me to do, let's say for instance, truck number one is to that to that technician that's over in Austin. You can select his truck, hit select, okay, and then what I can do is now I can increase that quantity. So you'll see here, let's say for instance we had on hand. I need to adjust the on hands first. So let's do. Really need to receive. Let's go back to parts. Need to receive those parts. Yeah, I figured it was going to do that. Okay. I need to figure out, I guess, the first step because I need to increase the on-hand levels here, and it's only allowing me to do the reorder as opposed to the on-hand. I need to actually create a purchase order so that it can allow me to actually increase the on hands for the main warehouse first. So you all would do that as the first part of making sure that you all get the parts into whichever warehouse, right? And then essentially I'm just transferring these from one warehouse to the next. And the reason why I'm saying this is something that could help you all is you're always going to have this transaction log of showing anytime that parts and materials have been moved from one location to the next. Let's see. Um, I don't want to group them. Well, I know I saw this the other day. Maybe we haven't moved any parts. Location. I want to say we did this last week. I was actually going through a example with one of our engineers. Let me get some more details on this because essentially this is how not only we are moving parts from one warehouse to the other, but how we're receiving parts into a truck or to a van. And then this transaction log will give you a report, and I'm just a little upset that it's not working right now, but it'll give you a report of where all items were used and where they were. I know we went over this, and I'm upset that this is not working. Yeah, I'll give you some more details on this, but it's essentially where we would go to manage that. Let me do, let me make sure all of our parts are synced. Oh, and that's one thing because we didn't touch on this. We do recommend that you all use QuickBooks for our platform. We don't have a full suite of accounting within the platform. We can do the AR side of things, but we want to ensure that you all have the ability to you either push into an accounting platform like QuickBooks or at least have the accounting practices because once again, we're all the way up into invoice as far as payments and vendors and paying your team and things of that nature. We heavily depend on QuickBooks when we first get our account set up here at SAWin. And that can be the QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop. Now, some people are going to use Sage Intacct. We don't recommend that right now because we're still in beta on connecting Sage right now. But if you all are interested, we do have a company that we partner with to help you all with getting a discounted version of QuickBooks if that's something that you all want to do.
I mean, we have our own way to handle APAR.
Okay.
It's all through our database, and that database is also what we use to also link to our field service app. Whenever
Gotcha.
we invoice, all that data gets pushed into our database.
Now, all your data gets pushed into the QuickBooks. So is that correct?
Yeah, yes. We could do it as a standalone. It doesn't necessarily have to have connection to QuickBooks. We just highly recommend it because as we are pulling parts and materials and things of that nature, we just want it to match up with the system that you all are using. And if you all want to keep the current process of doing your AP, with your current solution, you definitely can. I have at least 3 customers since I've signed up since being here that said, hey, you know what, we don't want to connect it to our QuickBooks or we don't have QuickBooks and we don't want to get QuickBooks. Then we have configured it to where they don't necessarily have to have it. It's just a recommendation.
Well, okay, because see, like the way it works for us right now is when they take invoices, that invoice gets pushed to our database.
Hmm.
From there, our verifier, person that verifies the invoice, will verify the invoice, post it, and when the programs handle everything, and then they post into the customer account, and that's where AR sees all that information and everything gets taken care of there, money wise and
Okay.
all that. But we have to also have that data from like let's say we went with you guys and we want to do the field services app side. We also will need that data to get pushed to our database. That way we
Yeah.
keep into account. Okay, this invoice was for so and so customer for so and so amount and blah blah blah. That way we can do our part here for AP and AR
Gotcha.
for AR.
Um, Yeah, and I think our team is open to assisting you all with getting that data over, whether it's an import or an export. I'm not entirely sure that it would be an integration or it would be a connection to that platform. Reason being is because we've done connections for folks in the past, and this was prior to me being here. And it always comes with additional costs because it requires us to work with both languages and being able to make sure that our language that we're coding goes to the API of the program that you guys are on. And so I'm not sure if that would happen as far as connecting it, but I do know a few folks that were using programs like Zero or NetSuite. They're essentially just exporting the data and then just importing the data in from an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, because like we don't have an open API. We don't have really an API, but because our server is a NoSQL server, not an SQL server.
Oh
It's
wow.
sort of like it's like MongoDB, right? I don't know if you heard of MongoDB.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have.
So it's like a NoSQL server, some multi-value database.
Yeah.
So it's the data handled different than a SQL server. So we have to create an API to be able to connect, so that can be in between, right? And we can connect into uh, whatever fields or attributes uh, I'm not sure how the field service app works for you guys, so,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, we can definitely as we have more and more conversations, we can, I can plug in one of my engineers and we can have that discussion to see if there is some documentation we can provide to you all to connect the two, but a little bit outside of my range, but definitely can connect you with the right people so that you all can have those discussions.
mm, well,
On your QuickBooks, I
Mhm.
mean, the receivables and the payables and general ledger, it would have all the customer information for like what customer owes what and everything. So
Yes.
you could look it all up and it would be tied in automatically into that,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, and that's
To
the reason
your
why we
system.
recommend it. Yeah, that's the reason why we recommend it is because there's various ways because I know you all mentioned that you all post and we have the post as well whenever you want to post an invoice within our software, whether it be coming over here to invoice and then actions, you can post based off of the batch that you all are batching for your client. You can do it individually. You don't necessarily have to do it in mass, but you can do it to where let's go here. And let's say I go here, you'll see here that we have an option over here to the right to also post. But we also do it to where it can happen automatically for you all. So we can do an autonomous sync from our system to QuickBooks to ensure that anything that happens within SAWin happens over in QuickBooks as well, so that everything matches up for your bookkeepers, your accountants, as well as for the owners of the business to ensure that everything is being reported accurately.
Now, do y'all, from the techs entering in their time, does that flow through to a payroll system?
Not necessarily to a payroll system. We do have the payroll reporting side, but it's just a report. It's not necessarily an actual payroll platform. So we can
Okay.
pull based off of the day range, and then once again we can see the times in which they were on duty, run that report based off of their daily totals, and then pay them out based off of the time that's here. You also have the ability to make some changes to these reports. So, however you all, want to do that. Oh, that's an old alarm. You can.
I like that.
I like that too.
Well, that's a nice looking report you have there. That works. Uh,
Thank you.
well, I think you covered, my head's spinning a little bit. You've covered quite a
Yeah,
bit there, you
I know
know.
it. I
So,
know it. I try not to. We've been on for a little bit over an hour and 30 minutes. So, normally if I go over an hour, my head's normally spinning. So I feel you.
but I do like it. And what, what kind of pricing? How does the pricing structure work?
Yeah, so the pricing structure varies. And when I say varies, it varies on the sizes of the company. Based off of your size, I believe we can either get you guys started at our 499 plan, which is 499 a month, or we can do the 799 a month. The main differences between the two, and I'll pull up my pricing structure because I always tell folks I have nothing to hide. Hold on real quick. Where is this it? Mm, 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 mm. All right, here it is. So I'll increase this because I know it's super small for my eyes as well. All right. So right here, we have our Basic Plus and our Contractor pack. These are the two plans that I would recommend. The main differences between the two is you'll see here that one comes with an implementation fee of $1,000 and data import. The other one comes included with the data import and the implementation and onboarding. So it really just kind of depends on you all. If you want to pay that $1,000 up front plus the 499 to get started, you can, or you can just start out with 799. And then once you pay this amount, we get your account started. We get you scheduled with our implementation manager, and then from there, they would work with you over the next 60 days to ensure your data is in the system. You have you and your team signed into the platform. You're trained, and once again, you're adopting some of the efficient tools that we use here at SAWin.
So that 10,000 annual, how many users is that for?
That's going to be.
Unlimited.
Yeah, it's unlimited users. Yeah, all of our plans are pretty much unlimited. Where this, I don't really mention the core because it really takes away a lot of the features in which all of our customers really, especially like you like that customer portal, it's not included, right? So that's the reason why I said either the 499 or 799. But yeah, it's unlimited users. So you can have, you mentioned the 13 in the office. The reason why I said we could say 13 go up or down, we're not basing it off of per user. That's kind of one of the changes that I made when I came here was I don't want to sell per user because if we did, you'd be paying I don't know like somewhere close to like 2 grand a month for this software. So we really brought it down, made it unlimited users, and priced it within the market. And those are the 499 I would say is really within the market. The 799 is ensuring that you all have that white glove service to get you all started. I know you guys have been using the same platform for a while now, and we want to ensure that you have the right team in place to assist you all in getting this started. So um, either you can pay the 10,000 up front, right, the 9588 up front to pay for the full year, or you can start out month to month and do the 799. It's up to you. It's whatever's comfortable for your pocketbook.
Are there any other, like, does the Quicken come with a monthly fee on it too or anything?
Does that which one?
Are there any other fees that come also like Quicken or QuickBooks? I mean, I'm sorry, or whatever it
So
was.
so what we've been toying with is including the QuickBooks in here because it just kind of depends on the solution. So if I come over, let me just open this up on the web real quick. That's not what I wanted to move. So QuickBooks, depending on which version, and I'm just going to show you which one I would recommend. Because once again, you can use either one or the other, right? So we have the QuickBooks Online. Um, where is it? Okay, I think they just made some changes to it. So our recommendation is you either go with the QuickBooks Online. It's either this Plus or it looks like they added the payroll core in here. So you'll see here it's really 135, right? It's not the 40. That's just a promotion right now. So the 135 here, or you can do the annual subscription for the desktop enterprise. Solely up to you all on which one you all want to do. But I would recommend either this first one right here, or this one. And keep in mind, any new user that we get over to our partner company, you get 50% off of I think online. Let me double check real quick because she sent me an email. QuickBooks Online. Let's see. Where you at, Judy? Where you at? Um, I know she sent me a Judy. Bear with me. Oh, was that it? I cannot find it, but what I'll do is I'll reach out to her and I'm actually let me just go ahead and send her an email right now. She's really great at responding. Let's all right, just send her the email. She'll reply before hopefully before we get off the call. But I do believe it was either 50% for the online for the first 12 months. So you would be looking at 135 divided by 50, divided by 2. I wish I could do that math in my head. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank. 140. It's like $70. Like 65 to $70 a month for the first 12 months for the QuickBooks Online Advanced, and then I think the QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise. I believe that was 10% off that for the annual on that one. So. Um, Once I get more information back from her, I'll send it over to you all, and then she may say, "Hey, I want to have a conversation," because we don't want to recommend a product to them and knowing that they have certain needs that they may have. So, but based off of these prices right now, these are just primarily SAWin prices. This is not including of QuickBooks or anything else. But the only other recommendation that we had was QuickBooks. Everything else comes included in that plan.
It sounds good. And I'm hoping that you can send that recording over, and maybe I can take a couple of weeks to try to analyze this, and then we can see if we need to have another demo or something.
Okay.
I do have one question though.
Sure.
So your program handles inventory too, right? So
Yep.
like let's say we wanted to scratch our way we handle inventory with our database, we could just move everything to your system, right, and just handle it from there.
Yeah,
Just
you
being
sure
able
can.
to purchase orders and all that stuff. Now we have a parts department where we sell parts over the counter, so it would be similar to invoicing, right? But
Yeah.
not quite. It's just like creating an invoice for a sale, right?
Yes. So we do have some of our customers that kind of have like the point. They used to have a point of sale system as they were selling, parts or they were renting equipment. They essentially just run it through they instead of calling it a work order, they call it a service ticket, and that service ticket just essentially becomes an invoice as they invoice that customer for those parts or for the rental of that equipment. So it just kind of
Yeah.
depends on how you all want to do it. But yeah, I have some customers that do it that way.
Okay.
Do y'all have a separate system for handling shop repairs? We have a shop that we do shop calls, and people would just bring them in.
Mhm.
So we might have 40 different pieces of equipment in here at a time in the shop. Or do you just set that as a separate tech and run it through that way?
Yeah, so either you set it up as a separate tech, or you can set it up as a separate customer, if that makes sense. So you would have a customer name, shop parts, or whatever you want to name it, and then essentially everything would be listed under that customer.
Okay.
So like we like to categorize also like the calls, like we might have installs, we might have regular calls, right? Or we might have a
Yeah,
warranty call, might have shop calls. So that
yeah,
all that could be done on your field servers, right? You'll
absolutely. Yeah, and
categorize
I'll even
everything.
show you all that you're pretty much in control of all of that. But if I'm setting up a call, let's say I go to this work order. I'm gonna share my screen one more time. I promise you this should be the last thing because I know I'm like there's probably so many things just like the head's just just pulsating over here. So you'll see here that we have some classes, right? And so you all can separate it by the class, or you'll see here down here under task code. you'll see here that install, service, plan maintenance, right? You all will be able to set it up however you see fit. And even if you want to do everything through your task codes, you can do it that way as well.
Okay. And of course, that could be potentially customized too, right?
Oh, every piece of this is custom. Classes are customizable. The task codes are customizable. The only thing that's required on this task codes is that you allot a time specifically for it. But keep in mind, you could always adjust the time at a later time. It's not a restriction or set in stone. It's just something that's required, and then once again, you can make adjustments after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah, and
And we,
even as you mentioned, warranty.
well, this professor, do we have manufacturers that still require that same form? Some of them do, right?
Yeah.
So like we have this, I don't know, explain it to us.
We're members of a trade organization, and a lot of some of the manufacturers require that we use their form to process the warranties.
Okay.
So basically, we would just need to be able to output the invoice data to that template. Would that be something we could probably set up?
I think that may present a small challenge, just because we can build out those fields in what we call checklists. But if it has to be on the form that they're requiring, that's where it becomes a little bit of a challenge because we're not necessarily saying that you have a fillable PDF, but you can have it to where, let me go back real quick.
No, like if you guys can recreate it with your system, then that would be great too, because that's what we have to do with our system. We're not using their form. We just
Okay.
recreate the template, and then our data gets printed into those fields within the template.
Yeah. So we can do that if it's not required of that actual list. So yeah, essentially right here, task list setup. You all can create essentially what we call task list. So you see here, I have a spring inspection, summer plan maintenance, checkout of all calls, spring and summer log sheets. You all can create a new task list, right? And give it a whole entire name. Let me actually cancel this real quick. Give it a new name, and then essentially fill out that information wherever needed. And then as that information gets populated, it gets populated into an invoice. And I don't know if I have any right now that I can show you. I can draft one up and send you a copy of it. But essentially, you'll see here where it says full detail. We have multiple pages where the pictures are included, the checklists are included, all that stuff can be included on the invoice, and then you all could also customize these to include that of the checklist. All I would need to do is go over here to company, to our where is it? I did this the other day. Where'd it go? Here it is. Under reports. And then if you all want to include the checklist in here, right here where it says you can include the checklist under your service receipt here. You can include the checklist on your invoice. And then I believe you can include, I thought you could include it on the actual service call, but it's not showing that to me. So yeah, so it'll either be on the service receipt or on the invoice from here. And then you'll see here it says attach checklist as a separate PDF.
Yep.
Yeah. So we would just customize that based off of the checklist and the questions that are asked based off of that sheet that you all have. So essentially, as long as you all have the questions, we can plug in the fields and labels for those variable pieces of data. And then once again, you all can plug that in and then print that out on top of the invoice as an additional PDF so that you all can either provide that to the association or to the customers based off of your requirements of that association.
Now, I don't think we went over like how we would dispatch a call to a technician. If that wouldn't take real long, we could do that in like a minute or two. That would be good to see.
Yeah, sure can. So if we come back over here to
Way
the
out knowing
dispatch.
you may have already done it. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah. No, it's all good. I did only show a snippet of being able to dispatch out to the technician. So there's a few ways in which we can do it. You'll see here, this is our dispatch board. There's a few views here. I'll just keep it simple for the time being. But here are our unassigned calls. We can always drag and drop it to our technicians. Here, it'll automatically schedule it for them. If we are scheduling a call, right? Somebody just called in and we need to go ahead and schedule. Essentially, it's going to be service, customer location. We're looking for that customer's name. So for here, I'm just going to keep it on lifetime. All we need to do is book new work order. Okay. Looks like I have a credit limit. Yes, I want to continue. You may not want to, but it's solely up to you guys. Right from here, we just want to plug in the description. I'm going to plug in a standard description for the time being. Choose a task
So this,
code.
I'm sorry. So this part right here is booking the call, right?
Yes, yep, this is booking the call.
Okay.
Okay. So we have our problem description. We have our task code that's set, time that was promised. I'm going to go ahead and do morning. And then from here, that's pretty much it. I can go ahead and save it. Now, if I want to include additional, I can. I can come down here. I can include the equipment. Okay. And then from here, once I hit save, I can add some parts and materials. But for the most part, we're just going to hit save. And we have this job ready to be booked as an unassigned. If for any reason I want to go ahead and schedule it with a technician, I can. And looks, it's already defaults it to me because I'm the one that's logging in. But I can always change this at a later time from that dispatch board. Okay.
I
So
saw an
that's
option
one.
up there. I'm sorry. Is there an option to text the customer too? Because I don't know. I saw an option down there where it says
Oh yeah,
something
yeah,
about
yep.
text.
Yeah, we got text notifications and email notifications. So anytime a job is created, we can text that over to the customer or email that over to the customer. It's once again, it's up to you all if you want to do that, and then you can do as many customers or anybody that's at that organization. It's not just required to be one, or you can even turn it off if you wanted to.
So like, let's say I book a call here and I add the text, the phone number, email to customer. They get a message with the call has been booked. Is that what they get, or
Yes.
what do they see?
So the first thing that we want to make sure that we do, let me go back real quick, is ensure that the email is allowed and text is allowed. As long as that
Hmm.
those two are on, then anytime that a call is booked, they receive a text message. Anytime that a call is complete, they receive a text message, as well as if it's been invoiced.
Okay. And what about when the call gets assigned to the tech, or like the tech is on the way? Is there something that they will be able to get a status for?
Yep, yep.
Like,
So let's show where is. So as far as the tech, once it's assigned to the tech, it is notified to the technician, not necessarily to the customer. When it is, so that's notified to the customer, and then, I mean, sorry, to the tech, and then on the way notifications when they dispatch themselves out to the location. So when they hit that dispatch, so if I
mhm.
were to go here, call info, um, actually, I need to
So when
go
the tech
back.
dispatches out to the location, the customer might get a notification, right?
Yes, that's correct. So right from here, right click, call details. Whenever we hit the dispatch right here, so once we dispatch and we say it's 3:50, so let's say I want to just do 4:01 p.m. and I hit save, it'll automatically let them know that the technician has been dispatched out to that location, so they're on the way. I just got the notification.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
I'm sorry I interrupted you. The whole process you were going through with
Oh
the
yeah,
phone call
sorry.
and
Yeah,
all.
it's all good. So yeah, once again, there's a few ways in which we can schedule from here, whether it's the unassigned calls, whether we are assigning specifically to a technician, or you'll see here that we have trade specific assignments to technicians. You all can ensure that jobs based off of task codes are only assigned to technicians that are in that field of specialty. So there's once again, there's a few variations there. I think if you want to go into further depth on how to dispatch this out to make sure that your team is available, we can definitely do that. And then you'll see here that we also have tech availability, which is going to show who's available, who's eligible for. Let me see if my kids are knocking on the door. What do you want? Who's eligible for the first call. As we make our way over here, let me actually increase this real quick. You'll see how much time they have available. I don't know who's available for 24 hours. That's probably against all unions, but this is just a demo environment, so we don't have to necessarily worry about that. But you'll see here the trades in which they're in, the class in which they earn, so whether they're apprentice, a lead tech, a journeyman, once again, you name it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we ought to schedule another one in maybe a couple of weeks or so.
Yeah.
Give us a chance to absorb things a little bit. It looks very interesting.
It does.
Gotcha.
It looks good. Yeah.
So
but we do feel like we have more questions next time too.
We didn't really touch on inventory and receiving and everything, So,
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, so inventory receiving. All right, anything else? Just want to make sure I come prepared. I'm sorry, my camera's probably moving its way.
We want to also go more through the process of, like what you were doing right now, but more in depth, like looking at call and dispatcher paging the call to the tag, and just I don't know if Mr. G, if you would like to see the process again, the whole.
I would like to see it again, and I think if it continues to look like something we're interested in, which it seems like it might, that then hopefully there would be a company here in town where we could actually go see somebody using it. But let's just schedule another demo and kind of go through to try to muddle our brains all up a little more, and see if we keep moving forward.
Okay, gotcha. One thing I'll always remind folks when I'm on a demo is we do want to earn you all's business. And so if there's anything that does come up that you all need to be able to see as we're working with our existing clients, as well as with you all trying to customize this to fit within you all's need for another solution, we'd love to hear about it. So as I will send over an email to you all to thank you all for being here. Looks like we're about to hit the 2-hour mark. I just want to share my appreciation for your focus on the platform, your questions, everything was great. And the last thing I have to do, because I'm in sales and I've been doing this for a while, and I kind of made this commitment to myself, is I don't end any call without asking for the sale. Are you all ready to move forward with SAWIN today?
No.
Nice.
Gotcha. I appreciate it. Hey, they say get the first no out as quick as you can, so that hopefully it leads up to a yes. So I appreciate it, gentlemen. I'll get an email out to you all soon with a copy of this recording. If any questions do come up prior to us connecting in the future, I know you said meeting in a couple of weeks. So in a couple of weeks from now, we're looking at let's see here. We're looking at maybe the 22nd of July. Is that okay to set a reminder to reach out to you guys then?
Sounds great.
All right, perfect.
Do you have my email address? Because I don't think I got a reminder on my.
I can get it if you're okay with it, Jose.
Okay, it's JOSUE.
Okay.
at armstrongrepair.com.
All right. All right. So I have JOSUEB. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right, perfect. All right, yeah, I'll add you to the welcome email, and then so whenever we do schedule another call, once again, I'll set a reminder for the 22nd. If we need to move that time, let me know. Was now around a good time? 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Central. What works better?
2 works great.
Yeah.
2 p.m. All righty. Well, you all stay. My name is Dorrell, like the door you push to leave your home or to go inside. Dorrell.
Okay. Thank you, Dorrell.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem at all, Roy. No problem at all, Josue. You all have a great rest of your evening. Try to stay cool. Looks like we're probably going to get a little bit of rain, at least on my side of the town. So you guys stay cool, and I'll talk to you guys here in a couple of weeks.
I appreciate it. You take care.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Thank you.